Okay, I am so excited today to have my very special friend and guest come and talk to us about some amazing opportunities to help children in South Africa for Christmas and for this beautiful season of giving. I am so excited that I know my friend Mandy, I call her Mans, for what has it been, Mans, like 23 years or something,
How long have you been married?
20 years. So
Okay, so it must be 23 or 24 years. Yeah.
for years, yeah. I met Mandy when I was doing missionary work. I went to Madagascar, South Africa, and Botswana, and it was when I was in South Africa that I was able to meet Mandy and her family. And we have been friends ever since. And luckily, through online, we can stay in touch every now and again. But a couple of years ago, I'd heard about Bandy doing some work for the children and with the Healing Happy method and what I started with Ocean Warren about um, 8, 9 years ago. We've been helping children, and it started with child trafficking and have continued to help children all over the world. The child trafficking is in Samoa, but I have loved hearing Mandy's story about children in South Africa. So I'm going to turn a lot of time over to her today to tell us about these children and the ways that we can help, and then share with you guys some ways that you can donate or support these children, whether it's purchasing products or just giving money. So, Mandy, would you mind just taking over for a minute and telling us about these sweet children?
Okay, thank you. So we moved to the subtropics of KwaZulu-Natal, which is on the east coast of South Africa, and we live about 37 kilometers from the ocean, um, within the borders of a nature conservation called the Valley of a Thousand Hills. And you can actually go and Google a Valley of a Thousand Hills. It's absolutely magically beautiful. And I have a lovely home. We've settled here. Um, my husband is hoping to retire sometime soon in the future. And we have a wonderful garden with banana palms and veggies, and the monkeys visit every day, and beautiful birds. And so it's just wonderful here. In South Africa, there is a huge diversity. There is extreme poverty, and extreme wealth. And more than 60% of the country is living on the poverty line. So that's more than half our population. And Jess, my daughter, and I, since she was about 11 or 12, when we moved here in 2007, we started visiting the Valley of a Thousand Hills and making book bags and taking books. And there was a feeding program that we joined with that used to go and provide food. So these rural areas, so one is about 10, 15 kilometers from where I live. So I kind of live on the border of the nature conservation, and you go down into the valley, which is all rural land. It's all owned tribal land that's being given to these rural people. They don't have electricity. They don't have running water. Um, some of them have generators with a TV, but most of them live in, very rural settings. And in these particular areas, there's a lot of grandmothers, which we call gogos, and they look after the grandchildren. Sometimes they've got 4, 5, 6, 7 grandchildren because either one parent has died from AIDS or both parents. So these are orphans. And so I've had lots of projects. One of the projects I had was the kids would collect plastic bottle tops and put them in 2-liter containers, and we'd go and collect them and exchange it for toiletries and stationery and sweets and treats, and the kids just loved that. And we recycled the bottle tops and fundraised for a child that needed a wheelchair. So we had a lot of fun. I've sent some photographs to Michelle, which she can show you. And um, they don't have a lot, but they're the happiest children that we know. But there's, things have got worse. In 2020, South Africa went into a national lockdown. A lot of these one income families lost their jobs, single moms lost their jobs. So you had the grandmother looking after the children in the rural area with the single mom working in the town. And a lot of them lost their domestic jobs. And so they had no income. And it was really hard. The tourism industry in KwaZulu-Natal is very, very big. And that literally shut down. Millions lost their jobs in the tourism industry. Hotels and bed and breakfasts just closed down and never reopened again. And so first there was more than a year of lockdown, 2020, and I wasn't allowed to go into these areas. But people were home, spring cleaning, and filled my home with clothes and toys and books and all sorts of things. So as soon as we could in 2021, we went back into the valley and into these areas. But it's been really hard for them. Something that I was inspired to do at the end of 2020 was become a BYU Pathway Connect student. And I started studying for my degree in my bachelor's degree in marriage and family studies, which has been quite hard because I have a very busy life. So I don't really have my own projects anymore, but I try to do a birthday and a Christmas project every year. And 2 years ago, I did a course called Child and Family Advocacy. And I had to choose a topic for a semester project. And I chose children living in poverty in South Africa. And of the 14 weeks of this course, I cried for 11. Every single day I cried because I'd gone there and I'd seen them and I'd interacted with them. But you see, what we do is we go there with food and clothes and chocolates and popcorn, which they've never had, and sweeties and chips, and they're happy and excited. And obviously I knew the backstory, but reading the research and the death toll and the absolute heartbreaking statistics was just really hard for me. And so one of the topics of my project was child-headed households and fatherlessness in South Africa. And so just down the road from us, about 5 or 6 kilometers in a rural area, there's an organization that has identified 10 child-headed households. That means there are no adults in that home. There's between 3 and 7 children in each home. Okay. And the head of the household is a teenager. They often have to give up going to school so they can get part-time jobs. They rely on organizations to provide them with basic necessities, food, toiletries. They don't have electricity or running water. They live in very basic accommodation. 2.5 years ago, we had torrential rain, and it literally wiped this place out. It just flooded the whole area. The homes were washed away and the people were buried in the mud. And what was left was complete devastation. And they live hand to mouth. They sometimes only get a meal 1 day a week or 2 days a week. So this year for my birthday project, I am asking my friends and my family and my friends of friends to contribute to these 10 homes. Michelle has a list of food items and a list of toiletry items. And I worked it out. So to get one household, all the food and toiletry items on a list, which is a might be a month's supply for December, so that they don't have to worry about December and Christmas, is going to be between $150 and $200 to do one household. So my friends are contributing soap and food and toothpaste, and I've taken a photograph of what I have. Excuse me. I have a neighbor who is making drawstring bags. I have runner's bags and another friend who's making like book bags, because the young kids don't have school books and they don't have bags for school. So we're not worrying about stationery at the moment, because our school year finishes on the 10th of December. So we're basically just collecting the items on that list. Some of my friends have sent me money. I can now receive money from all over the world into my bank account. Some of my friends are going online and buying the items and having it delivered. Michelle has a few photos from some of our previous projects. The woman who is coordinating the project. So what I'm collecting is for my birthday. I turned 58 in September this year, and I like to collect. So I've collected about 38 soaps. I want 58, and we'll be taking what we have next Saturday on the 23rd. So right now we're buying dry goods like tin food and toothpaste and Melly Meal. Michelle, do you remember what Melly Meal is?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So a basic one meal a day that they have is a bowl of Melly Meal, which is like a maize meal porridge that they'll either have with a little bit of sugar for breakfast, or for lunch they make like a tomato onion kind of pilchard stew. They just never get meat. And so it's tin food and sugar and maize meal and rice and toiletries. So we're hoping, so in dollar terms, I think, so here it's about 17 Rand to the dollar. I don't know the value of $150 in the States, $150 to $200, but we can basically provide the whole list for a family for $150 to $200. So $150, I think I worked out, was it's about 2,700 Rand. Most of these people don't even earn that in a month. The teenagers, if they have a birth certificate, they get about 450 Rand a month. Let me see what that is. Okay, so that's about $25 a month to feed themselves and their family. So they're absolutely reliant on help. And so the homes that they live in are basic. They're basically shacks. And maybe Michelle can explain what a shack is, but it's just like 4 walls with a roof, and they make a fire outside and they cook on an open fire. There's no sanitation, there's no toilets. There's usually a public toilet, but it's more like a porta potty. They have to get water from a tap that they share. They don't have electricity. They use propane. No, not propane. They're like oil lanterns. And as Michelle was explaining, sometimes these get knocked over and accidents happen. Usually it's really warm summer right now. And at the moment we're all bundled up because we've had 2.5 weeks of rain and it's quite cold. So they don't have, I mean, they don't have clothes and blankets, and so anything that anyone is willing to give will make a huge difference. It is Christmas, so we're focused on buying food, dry food and tin food and toiletries. And when sort of a couple of days before we take the packages, probably about the 10th or the 12th of December. Sorry, my dog wants my attention. Probably on about the 10th of December, we'll buy fresh vegetables like onions and tomatoes, potatoes, butternut, and that'll be like a real treat for Christmas. So I'm not sure if you have any questions, Michelle.
Yeah. Well, just to kind of give a back, because people here don't understand, is that there in South Africa it's warmer, but when it gets cold, they don't have the ability to have heated houses and to warm up. Like I never experienced snow when I was in South Africa, and I was more north than you are now, but I have never been so cold here in Utah, where we get lots of snow and things. We have heaters and warm clothes, and I didn't understand the difference. So when Mandy's talking about these kids, like it's a cold season and it's rainy, they don't have any place to go to get warm other than, snuggling up and trying their best to wear the clothes that they have. It is a different lifestyle. It's a different mentality. And another thing Mandy didn't say that I am just so touched by is Mandy goes and helps and doesn't take anything for herself. All of the donations go right to the children, right, Mandy?
Absolutely. And I'll send you a photo of what we have right now, and that's come from Dave and I. And I mean, Dave didn't work 5 months of the year this year. So we were stretched really thin, and we used our savings, and we're very blessed. So it takes sacrifice for us to contribute and to put in. So I'm not asking for myself, and um, I'm asking for what I've already done. It's literally food, and if I could buy them all groceries every month, I would.
Oh, you would. Yeah.
and and my husband keeps saying, we'll never be rich because you give it all away.
Yes, you have that big heart, and I know you would give, and I know you have given, and that is why I'm so excited to share this opportunity of doing something that I know will go to help these children do what they can't do. And um, I don't here in the States it's kind of different. We don't see poverty on the same level, so it's hard to relate. But I just know that we can do what we can to do support these children, and I'm going to share this with as many people as I can. And I just appreciate you allowing us to take part in this special experience because it's gonna make me cry because when you see those children with big smiles on their faces, I remember a Christmas we had a bag of sweets and we drove around in the back of an open truck and we're just passing them out. And we had hundreds of children come, just so excited for a chance to get a little candy. And just remember crying, thinking that just brought them so much joy, and they were so happy to have one little sweet, and that was it. And we get so greedy sometimes in the lifestyle we live in, and it is a special experience to bring a child that kind of joy and know that they'll be happy anyway, but that it just helps them in their life. So thank you for sharing, Mandy. I'm excited to see what we can do to help these children. And I will offer um, a chance for you guys to purchase a gift card that 100% of the money goes to help the children, and a portion of all the products that I sell between now and then will give to the children, up to 25% of all sales. So I'm excited for this opportunity. I hope you guys will open your hearts and your wallets to help some of these children in their time of desperation, and our abundance. We can share our light and help them. So thank you again, Mandy. I might have some questions people might have. I'll pass them on to you, but thank you again for being here, and I'm
Thank you so
excited to
much.
see
Thank
what
you so much,
happens with these
Mandy.
children.
Okay. Thank you so much, Michelle.
Thank
Take care, miss.
you. You
Bye-bye.
too. Love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye bye.